During the few recent updates to Limbus Company, the Poise team of the game has been growing stronger and stronger, with new identities and ego being added to the team. The newest update is no exception, as it has introduced a brand new Poise ego skill in Thoracalgia Faust. This is our second Thoracalgia ego skill, after Roshu got one in the LCB regular checkup event. And once again, the skill in question promises to add a ton of Poise support into the team, while providing it with yet another 3-weight pride attack and some much needed healing. In today's video, I want to take a look at this new tool and figure out just how strong it is, and whether the addition of Thoracalgia Faust will change anything for the Poise team. And well, it definitely changes things. So stick around until the end to make sure you don't miss anything. But before we start, you know I have to tell you that most of my viewers are not subscribed. And if you find yourself coming back to my videos or end up enjoying this one, consider subscribing. It takes just 1 second and helps me out a lot. Without further ado, let's get back to Faust. We'll start by looking at the ego skill and what it does as stress pin 4. Then we'll compare its effects to those of Thoracalgia Roshu, and we'll end off by looking at how the introduction of this ego changes the Poise team. But first, the skill itself. Thoracalgia Faust is a Pride Pierce skill that has 2 coins, reaches a power of 18, and has an attack weight of 3 and an offense level modifier of +2. The first and most important effect of the skill activates before attack, and what it does is give all allies Poise potency equal to the highest resonance this turn. If the resonance used for this effect was an absolute Pride resonance, it also grants all allies +1 Poise count and 1 stack of Shallow Exhale next turn. Just so you don't get confused, let's quickly go over this new effect right now. Shallow Exhale caps out at just 1 stack, and it has a very simple effect. If the unit with the effect is at 20 or more Poise potency, whenever they get more potency with their skills, they get 1 Poise count as well. This effect lingers for only 1 turn, but because it's applied on the next turn, you're guaranteed to get value from it. Back to Thoracalgia, the first coin gives Faust 1 Poise count on hit, and the second coin deals extra damage on critical hit equal to Poise potency plus Poise count %. However, the bonus damage caps out at 40%. Onto the skill's corrosion variant, it retains the same attack weight, coin count and offense level, but gets 2 negative coins, and gets to reach a higher max power of 24. The skill also retains its before attack effect, but improves it to also apply 1 pride damage up to all affected allies. In addition to that, Faust gets a second before attack effect. Much like the effect on Roshu's Corrosion Thoracalgia, it converts HP into Poise, but does so in a unique way. Faust gains enough Poise potency to make her new total equal to 20, and for each Poise potency gained, she loses 2% of her HP. Notably, this effect can neither stagger nor kill Faust, making it safe to use. The coins of the Corrosion skill are the exact same. Is this lazy design? Maybe, but also the small amount of differences makes it easier to understand when to go for this version. The passive effect of this ego is Breath, and this one does not seem to impact the effect of the Nebulizer ego gift, unlike Roshu's passive. Its first effect is quite simple. Faust gains 1 Nebulizer Alpha after using Thoracalgia. Immediately, let's take a look at this new effect so that you know what we're dealing with. Unlike Nebulizer Beta, which mirrors the effect of an existing ego gift, this effect is entirely new, and it very simply gives all allies 1 Poise potency and count at combat start. This effect can stack up to 5 times, but that does not affect its Poise application. The second effect of Faust's passive is that she gains 1 stack of Nebulizer Alpha every time she applies 10 Poise count to her allies with Nebulizer Alpha effects. Basically, it means that she gets a stack of the effect every other turn. Now the reason for stacking the effect lies in the third part of Breath. At turn end, Faust heals a number of allies with the lowest HP percentage equal to the highest resonance for an amount of HP equal to Nebulizer Alpha stacks %. The healing is then reactivated on all targeted allies that have 20 or more Poise potency. And that's about it for the description of the skill. Now, let's talk about what it allows you to do and how it compares to Ryoshu's skill with the same name. The first and most obvious benefit of using Thoracalgia Faust is the crazy Poise support it provides for your team. At max resonance, the skill applies a total of 36 Poise potency and 6 Poise count across your team, with even more value being provided by the Nebulizer Alpha effect. Speaking of Nebulizer Alpha, this effect is kind of crazy. 1 potency every turn is a negligible buff, but 1 free Poise count entirely offsets the turn-end count loss on this effect, making it much easier to keep up Poise stacks on identities that gain just enough Poise count with their skills to account for their coins. The best part of the effect is that, unlike its beta variant, Nebulizer Alpha does not require any specific setup to reach its full potential. It hits all allies as soon as you get even 1 stack of the effect, making it very easy to use the skill once for the effect and then transition into using your ego resources for ego skills with more damage. On the topic of Poise count gain, Shallow Exhale is an effect that also exists within Thoracalgia Faust. This effect acts as another source of Poise count, which can be used to quickly provide units with kept Poise potency with some count. Now, realistically, this effect isn't going to be super useful, as a single burst of count from using the ego and a sustained buff of 1 count per turn is enough to keep pretty much every Poise AD afloat. However, this is still a nice buff for identities that consume count, as it can provide them with some faster setup as well as the ability to keep their stack after using the skill that consumes count. Now, the Poise gain is pretty obviously good, it's the main gimmick of the skill after all. However, in terms of damage, Thoracalgia Faust is almost at the same level as unbuffed Ryoshu, although she does have 1 less offense level, which results in like 3% less damage, while also not getting access to Ryoshu's Deep Breath, which further decreases her offensive output. However, for Pierce weak encounters, this is still by far the best button for Poise Faust to press for damage, considering your only other AoE Pierce option is Telepole, and Poise does not fuel that eagle well. The final part of the skill's value is its healing, and this is the part that I think solidified Thoracalgia Faust as a no-brainer must-have ego skill for the Poise team in my eyes. The reason for that is the fact that Thoracalgia is a high-level ego skill for Faust, meaning it has to compete with Fluid Sac, which is a great tool for healing SP and HP, and an even greater crutch for players who refuse to read. Now, Fluid Sac isn't that easy to fuel in Poise without giving up strong identities, but it is still usable, and when it is used, it can heal off a lot of the chip damage your units tend to take when going up against enemies with unbreakable coins. However, Thoracalgia offsets the opportunity cost of giving up the healing from Fluid Sac by adding some healing of its own. The healing is applied every turn passively, and ramps up along with Faust stacks of Nebulizer Alpha. This effect might not have the ability to burst heal, but Poise identities tend to clash really well, save for some skill ones. So getting hit or having to give up clashes is not really something that happens here, meaning that once again, sustained healing in small amounts can easily keep your HP bars full against unbreakable coins, which are the only threat to this team. By the way, in the Refraction Railway you will get nuked by Eagle skills, but you will also get access to some extra Poise gain buffs, meaning that you can use the double healing effect more often, and it can actually sustain you through even the most unfortunate of beatdowns, as long as you make enough resonance chains. Now, compared to Ryoshu's Thoracalgia, Faust's version provides Poise support with a much higher floor, as it hits all allies all the time, but a much lower ceiling, as a fully stacked Nebulizer Beta is literally 3 times stronger than its Alpha variant. However, the fun part about these two ego skills is that they both serve 2 roles. but while they overlap in one, that being Poise support, their second roles are entirely different. Roshu gains power and applies a unique offensive effect on herself, making her skill a damage dealing option, while Faust provides sustained healing, meaning it belongs to the recovery category. This means that comparing the two skills is not exactly a productive endeavor, as they fill very different niches. However, what I can say after using Thoracalgia Faust for a bit is that your best course of action for these two skills seems to be to use Faust first to give your team that consistent buff, while also starting to scale Nebulizer Alpha for its healing earlier. And after that, you can continuously reuse Roshu without using Faust ever again, as Nebulizer Beta gets stronger every use and every kill, while Roshu gets to hit for a lot of damage while also buffing her following turn. But keep in mind that this is only what I think after a short time with the skill, so if you have your own ways of using it, please leave them in the comments. And finally, the question that has been asked in the comments of my Ultimate Guide to Poise video a million times over. Does the addition of the skill change anything for the team I recommend running if you want to use Poise? And very simply, yes, it does. The reason I recommended Blade Lineage Dawn for the team is entirely because it had a hard time keeping up Poise stacks and making them very quickly, and Dawn could help the team with that by using her skills. However, now her entire niche has been taken over by a singular use of this new ego skill, which absolutely is enough reason to put in Faust over Dawn. Faust will obviously be running her Blade Lineage identity, which synergizes with Mentor Mersault, provides the team with the Red Plum Blossom effect, which grants extra damage and critical strikes, and perfectly fuels her Thoracalgia. It's a good day for BL Faust fans, as the beauty is back in town. With that, I want to conclude my overview of the Thoracalgia ego skill for Faust. The skill is a great way to make Poise stacks infinite on your entire team, and the healing its passive provides shuts down any attempts to whittle down the HP of your sinners with unbreakable coins. The skill puts Faust back in Poise without a shadow of a doubt, and it's honestly so good at what it does that it's even a little boring. If you have your own opinions on the skill, make sure to leave them in the comments below, and I'll read all of them in case I missed something big. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like to let me know, and consider subscribing to not miss out on my new uploads. I've got some good ideas in the chamber, however my university is trying its best to consume every little bit of free time I have, but with your support I can continue to make videos for you all to enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye!